we were at the Turning Point event in Detroit. So I met Trump, I met all these people, and it's like, wow, I'm experiencing like the American dream. And then I go to Cameroon, and I'm seeing like real poverty.
Nobody
that's
in
real.
America is oppressed. Period.
Yeah, I feel like America is the best place in the world, especially for a black man.
Especially, like, I was having this argument with someone. I was like, where in the world can you go and have a better life with more opportunity as a black person than America? Where? Name one place.
Yeah.
Did you see, you guys know Terrence K. Williams?
Yeah, we do.
That's the homie.
Yeah, we had him on the show recently, and he said that his first video that went real big was he was on his lunch break, so he's eating fried chicken, and then he said, how many black people want to go back to Africa? He's like, because I don't. He's like, I like it here. And then they claimed that because he was eating fried chicken, he was doing a racist thing where he was attacking black people or whatever. And I'm like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
You ain't gonna get no good fried chicken in Africa, though.
Oh yeah, I was in Cameroon for the African Championships like a month ago, and that was my first time like leaving America. And so I've always known like people like, cause my dad is a immigrant. He moved here from Ghana. His parents moved here from Ghana. So I grew up like, I didn't really grow up like being taught that white people were against me, that I have no chance, like, because I wasn't really raised, like my parents are from Africa, from Ghana. So when I went to Cameroon, that was the most life-changing experience I've ever had, because right before we went to Cameroon, we were at the Turning Point event in Detroit. So I met Trump, I met all these people, and it's like, wow, I'm experiencing like the American dream. And then I go to Cameroon, and I'm seeing like real poverty, like no electricity, no house. Like these people are really struggling. And like I remember I ran up on a family, they still have AirPods in, and they're like jumping up and down, freaking out because they've never seen AirPods. And I'm like, wow, like that trip changed my life. I had so much survivor's guilt. Like on just the whole way home, I just felt like a horrible feeling stick to my stomach. I'm like, I have so much in America.
But
I'm about to go back to America and have everything.
Your parents are from Africa and they immigrate here.
Yeah, so my dad moved here when he was only 5 years old. So it was my grandpa, like he one by one. Like I think, so my dad has 4 sisters and he moved them all one at a time. And so my grandpa was working at Pizza Hut in the horse stables in Oklahoma. And he was working 2 jobs and he was getting his PhD to be a professor at the college that Brandon's people also went to.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was when he became a professor there, he started moving them one at a time. So like my dad, like from like ages like, I think when he was born to like 5 or 6 years old, didn't see his parents because they were in America trying to, make ends meet. And they just one at a time brought him here. And everybody, all my dad's sisters and all their family, they're doctors, they're successful, all of them. It's just because it shows me how much perspective and what you're taught can affect you, right? And you see a lot of Nigerians, you see a lot of like Iranian, you see a lot of people from other Vietnamese, they come here and they're successful because they're like, I'm not about to just sit here and let y'all like, where I came from, it's real struggle and real poverty. So here where I have a chance in America, I'm not gonna care what y'all say, I'm gonna go get that money.
I think it was, maybe it was Charlie Kirk. It might have been Vivek. I think it was Charlie Kirk. He said, America is the one country where the people that hate it refuse to leave.
Facts.
Literally.
I saw that. He was arguing with that dude with the mask on.
Yeah.
He was like, can you prove it? I was like, what the hell you mean?
That
He was
doesn't-
like, all right,
doesn't
will
make
you
sense.
leave? No. Well, he
But
just proved it.
This is the crazy thing too, because you've got this idea, and it's like it's woke people from all different backgrounds saying that America's racist, America's horrible, and I'm like, yo, like your family fought to come here and work. Your grandpa worked really, really hard to be here. It's
a spit in the face to them. Like you did all this to get me here, and now I'm a complainer.
Now you're a victim of it.
Yeah. Exactly. What's crazy? That's why I could never, me personally, I'm not doing that. I don't care. I'm not finna just sit here and just say that I'm oppressed when I don't feel oppressed. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, no.
I didn't think that was extreme like left at first until maybe like a couple of days ago when I said, that's almost delusional. That's on the level of LGBTQ activists. That's on the level of climate activists because that is far left because that is a delusion that you are oppressed.
If this is the case, why do African people always come here and be successful?
So
that is a literal, real thing.
So
you can look up these stats.
Yeah, that is far left now. To me, that is extremely far left.
Think about all the immigrants is trying their hardest to cross the border to
Right
get
now.
here.
Right now.
And like,
To a
To be
oppressed country.
oppressed.
Yeah, so that's why I think
Doesn't make any sense.
At all. No logic at all.
So that's why I think that we have a different perspective, and that's why we're like this, because we all grew up and like we've seen different things. Like
Yeah.
Facts.
he
I'm
came,
military.
he's a military kid, so he's been around black and white people. My dad put me in different positions to see black and white people. They've seen black and white people like in different situations. So that's what it is with the black community, is that they just don't see the different situations and
Exactly.
they think they're oppressed. Because if you look at different countries and different situations, you're gonna be like, wow, I have a yellow school bus to go to school, man.
Yeah.
They're running and walking miles on bare feet to go to school.
No.
You got water at
I really
school.
feel like Oklahoma. I mean, I really feel like
Yeah.
America is really the land of opportunity. Like it literally is. It is what you make it. Like I think people think like if you go work, you're just gonna automatically be successful. I think that's a myth that we've been sold. I also think that a lot of people think that if they don't go to college, like there's no other way. I think that's also a myth that's been sold. Like there's so many ways to
Like,
find
yeah.
success in America. Literally a million ways to find success in America. Like people are making millions of dollars selling trading cards. Like
You know, Patrick David said, I was listening to him yesterday. He said they can predict who will be the next most millionaires in our generation. It'll be plumbers.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Sense. Yeah, that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
a lot of sense because everybody don't want to do that job.
Plumbers will be the next millionaires. Yes.
There was a cartoon, I think someone made on like a meme. I can't remember what it was, but I think South Park did this. It's a South Park joke. The plumber is driving. All the plumbers are driving around in like Ferraris
Wow.
because nobody wanted to do the job,
Exactly.
and everyone's going to college. So then the plumbers start becoming in high demand, and they're all the handymen.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm overbooked. I got to hire more employees. We need more. Everybody's desperate. Stan's dad can't fix the oven, so he's got to hire somebody, and they're all rich now.
That's insane.
It's opportunity, you know what I mean? Like the economy shifts.
Yeah. And that's the thing though, our community doesn't like see these jobs as a way to make money.
See,
Yeah.
that's what it is too, especially with the younger people. I feel like younger black people is like with social media and stuff, everybody want to do YouTube or rap or whatever, athlete. And it's like, you can't do these things. It's like, especially the women, like on both sides, not just black or white, like women in general, young women are going to be like, well, I want somebody with some motion, So he's a plumber. And
You
he's
don't want
a,
no man with a 9 to
but
5.
he make 200K and he makes 60, It's just, I think that's a generational kind of issue, not just a racist.
I definitely think it's people want the image too.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with no plumber.
So there's a story I like to tell from back where I come from on the south side, and there was so this is like a generally mixed race area for the most part, but we had a dividing line, 47th Street. If you cross north of 47th, all black. South of it, predominantly white, some Hispanic, very few Asian, but that dividing line was real, and there was animosity based on these two different communities. But I remember, there were a couple kids in my neighborhood that were selling pot. And then there was this black dude, and he was like, "Why are you selling pot?" And they were like, "Well, I got to make money." And he was like, "I'm not going to go work at McDonald's." He's like, "I make way more selling pot." And this guy, I always remember this because it was such a great story. He was like, "That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. You want to make money? I'll tell you to make money." And here's what I do. He's like, I look up the venues in Chicago where bands are playing, and then I see this list. They got 4 bands on Friday night, 4 bands on Saturday night, 4 bands Thursday or whatever. These bands that are opening are like 18-year-olds. So I reach out to him on social media or whatever. This is back before social media, I think. But it's like, I'll hit him up and I say, "Hey, do you guys have merch?" And they go, "No." And he's like, "All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell t-shirts for your band, and I'm going to give you 20%. And then the bands are like, "Yes," because we don't have merch. And then he was like, "I work 2 days a week. I make two grand a week." Yeah. Because I go to the store, I print up a couple hundred shirts. They bring all their friends and family to come see their show. Everybody wants to buy the shirts. They get money they wouldn't have got before. I get paid. You don't got to sell pot to do that. He's like, it's just lazy. Someone told you to make money and now you're going to go to jail. What's the point? He's like, just sell. You could tell. He's like, you could sell socks on the highway and make more money than this.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. People want the easy way out because selling pot is always going to be an option in the black community. That's one of the first things that come to
Not just
you.
the black community, though.
Well, yeah, not just about it. It's going to come to you. That's going to be the first. That's one of my
Everyone
first
has that
opportunities
option.
of money.
Yeah.
But you just know it's repercussions with that.
It's repercussions.
You might die. You
I
might
get
go to
robbed.
jail.
I have to kill somebody behind that.
But this is the problem
I know
with this.
somebody that died behind that. I didn't
Damn.
say that. Yeah.
I know
High school.
multiple
Yeah.
people.
I literally shot in the
Somebody
head.
dying right now behind that.
Literally,
Somewhere.
Kid from my high school got shot in the head over an ounce. In high school. I was like, wow, that's insane.
I wouldn't have somebody die in high school over 3 pills.
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
try to rob them over 3 pills.
How could you see that and say this is a good idea?
You know what happens if so I imagine some of this is like you're selling on someone else's territory or you owe a debt you didn't pay back and you disrespected them or something. If you go to like a t-shirt print shop and you say, let me get an order of 100 shirts, they're going to be like, your bill's going to be $500. You say, okay, give me the invoice, I'll pay by the end of the week. If you don't pay them, the guy who owns that shop's not going to put a bullet in you.
Yeah.
He's going to come wagging his finger and he's going to hand you a legal demand. And then 3 months later, you're in court. Like that's normal business.
Yeah. Well, just what's handling in court, buddy? You don't need to use the guns.
You in court.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about, I mean, pot's becoming largely legal in a lot of places, but the people who, a guy goes to someone and says, here, I'm going to be your supplier. You go sell on the street or whatever. If that dude doesn't pay him back, he has no court. There's no recourse. So this is why you end up with violence. Because he's like, the only thing you have to do is you fight. Whereas normal business, that's, regular market, not black market, you send them a summons to a small claims court, and it's just like, okay, the $200 has to be paid back. Or you go on TV. Could you imagine?
Judge Judy.
You go on Judge Joe Brown or Judge Judy, and then it's like, okay, you owe him $200, and then the show pays the bill. But that's the funny thing about that story to me is like, if people in the community just heard that lesson, why sell pot? It's because someone offered it to him. Mm-hmm. Because someone said, hey, you're gonna make a lot of money doing this. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine if a guy showed up to a park and he's like, hey, you wanna make some money? What do you gotta do? I'm gonna give you these t-shirts. You go to the Metro and sell them. We're gonna make $1,000. They would do it. But the opportunity isn't there.
Oh no, Tim, about that one.
Some
people,
That's why he set it up.
it depends.
I think some people probably
I'm saying like, if someone goes to a young person and says, how would you like to work one day a week and make $1,000?
Right.
Okay.
They're gonna say yes. But what happens is the people who run these businesses aren't going to young people and making these offers in the city. At least where I come from, that never happened.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if you want a job, you got to work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that because they consider it demeaning. You're not cool.
Yeah.
Some people do it and they're like, I got a real job. It's fine. It's like, okay, congratulations. After taxes, you're going to take home $80.
Yeah.
And the kid the dealer who comes to him and says, hey, sell these to your friends and to the people you know, he's making several $100 a week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have the same kind of boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when the parents come in.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, so subscribe and come hang out.